And how's it going, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the third ToonCar Tandem podcast. I'm not alone this time. I mean, of course, I've never not been alone because Alex is here, but we got ourselves a bit of a party here. We got Sonic Rules 831, we got Jetman 999, and we got Lefty, aka Noah. I make very good NR 2003 content and awesome tracks. Sweet. Say hello, guys.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, indeed.
Jimmy finally did good.
Jimmy finally did good. Yeah. So
definitely the topic of conversation right now.
Yes, just jump right into Jimmy Johnson and just yes.
Boom, confetti.
Yes. This dude. Okay, that triggers me because that takes me back to the NR 2003 short. Oh, what was it? 17. I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom. Yeah, my most disliked video.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I ever told you this, but I think that was one of the first videos I saw on your channel.
Really? That's your person, like how you got to know me was he smashed Jim Jam into the wall and he did some good old classical music to that.
I believe it was I saw the 2016 Daytona 500 series and then I saw that. I believe that's what it was.
Oh, okay. So not as bad, but still.
Perfect first impression. Perfect.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Perfect. All right, so we just finished the race at Dover, and I guess we might as well start with that. So what did you guys think of Dover? What did you think of Denny Hamlin winning, his sixth race now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Just, yep.
I was definitely impressed with like how much mid-pack racing I saw compared to what we saw last year. Last year, it was like there was so much G-force on the drivers that I feel like they didn't even want to race each other hard in the first place. Mm-hmm. There was so many factors that were in that race where there's like record-setting laps only because, gosh, at this rate, I'm surprised that Goodyear didn't fall apart in that race with how much force was on the cars. But this race was like I almost felt like I was watching the Xfinity race for a second. Mm-hmm. It was real sideways. There's a lot of guys using the top line. There's guys using the bottom line, which at Dover, that's a little crazy. But like with concrete, grooves kind of widen out and shorten like at different rates. That's why I like concrete tracks so much. We might see something like that at Nashville, but Nashville's kind of flat.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, every race, I usually don't have a good analysis because I'm just paying attention to Jimmy Johnson the entire time because I haven't got out of that since the age of 9.
Yeah.
But earlier in the season, I could give a good analysis, but the past few weeks have just been where's the 48? It just stopped.
Where's Jimmy?
Every time I watch the 48, I'm just like, please, nothing bad happen. Please, nothing bad happen. Oh God. Okay.
Oh yeah, we about had that, dude. I was gonna be so mad. That was gonna be the maddest I'd ever been all year long. Maybe I know Roval, I was pretty mad. But, Jimmy was actually, running to a point where I thought he was going to get top 3 at that point in the race. And I saw Ryan Preece just go, I'm going to just slide down here real quick. And Jimmy almost rear-ended him at the speed of light. And I almost spit out whatever I was drinking. It was insane.
Yeah, you almost scream Judas Priest. Am I right?
No, man. It's stuff like that really aggravate me. Because I know it's been a topic of conversation that Jimmy Johnson's either is like, he's got bad luck, or he just wrecks off of people. It's like I feel like Jimmy's just desperate right now. I've never seen Jimmy race like this. Like Jimmy has always been kind of calm and collected. Yeah. He's kind of smooth on the wheel, even though he's got loose cars. But I've seen him sawing at the wheel. I've been seeing him wreck off of people. Like he's been racing with a lot of fire recently. Something I've never seen Jimmy race like before. He doesn't have. I don't know if he's got that calm voice in his ear right now either. I'm not sure what Cliff Daniels is like. Like I haven't really paid attention to his kind of demeanor with Jimmy. Because I know Chad was usually like, just Jimmy, just shut up and drive. Just shut up and drive. Be calm. That was kind of Chad's way of coaching Jimmy almost. But I'm not sure how Daniels is. I feel like he's got the same demeanor. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Well, what about the Byron and Knaus? That was interesting.
Yeah, Byron's young. He's definitely going to be a louder voice out of the two when it comes to him and Chad Knaus. Because I know Knaus isn't going to take any of his, anything from him. He's going to be like, dude, just calm down. you're being ridiculous. But Byron's young, and he's got a lot of career ahead of him. So obviously he's going to be upset when it's not going his way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way I feel, honestly.
Yeah. It makes you wonder because I mean Byron hasn't even had like any wins yet. Like he hasn't like. It makes you wonder. Like, do you think he's a bust yet, or do you think like he'll eventually like pull out and get that win? I don't know.
I feel like at some point, I just think at some point he will find something. But I I go back to the fact, and I've said before with guys like Daniel Suarez, I just think Byron was kind of thrown into a cup car a little too soon. But then again, Joey Logano was kind of thrown into a cup car too soon, and he's panned out all right. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm still holding out on Byron.
yeah. Canals has been doing a fantastic job putting him in good positions. He's had a few slip ups, but Byron just needs to execute. He's been put in good spots. He just needs time to figure out how to work those situations out so he can put it to his advantage. It's just something. It's just something Byron needs to get a handle of right now. He's not the best in the field like he was in the Xfinity Series. He's not the cream of the crop. He's up against guys who have been in this series for years, and they've got a team with years of experience. So I mean, Hendrick, it's level playing ground. He has to execute.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it always comes down to, pretty much. When you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just hitting your marks.
Yep. Crew chief puts you in the position, you have to execute. That's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think Byron needs to pull like a Joey Logano and need to go to a new team, or do you think he's okay with the 24 and maybe like spend some more time with that team?
Well, every time I think of guys at Hendrick, I think of how come they're not performing like Elliott. But people always say, well, they're an experimental car, or it's because the teams get favorited equipment, But it comes down to the sort of the strategy thing. I've seen some Hendrick cars like just fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even from like a bad pit strategy or something like that. They just like fall off at some points of the race, like almost like their car like just loses power. Almost, it's crazy. Like I just really don't. I don't know if it's because Hendrick just isn't really used to this kind of new. Like, I don't know if it's because when we get to stage racing, Hendrick used to be so good at long runs that was just the only thing they were good at, or if it's just because they got all these new, young drivers that are eager and they're not going with the flow. And Chase Elliott's finally matured to the point where he can run his car well. Like if we had a mature Jimmy Johnson right now and he was, running the same equipment Chase was doing, he'd be doing fine. But we've got a Jimmy Johnson that's extremely desperate. He really wants that win. He's racing like a young driver. So essentially we got Chase Elliott, who's probably the most mature driver on the team right now as far as, decision making, in my opinion. It depends though.
Yeah. I don't know. Hendrick is definitely a new crop for sure. And I guess while we're talking about Hendrick, I might as well we could talk about who's going to be in the 48 next year.
Well,
There's so many options out there.
I don't know because it's such a crucial decision for me because I know it's easy for people to just root for the new driver that goes into the car of their old favorite.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Jeff Gordon fans became Byron fans or Elliott fans at one point because Chase Elliott went into the 24.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really easy to root for that new driver, but with me, I just don't know, man. I've been rooting for Jimmy Johnson my entire life. I've got a Jimmy Johnson Shamu car on my desk for crying out loud. I mean, that's how much of a Jimmy Johnson fan I am.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I know whoever's going to be in that car, I'm going to be automatically rooting for him. And it's really hard to make that decision right now because Jimmy Johnson's still on the track.
Yeah.
Noah out here flexing while I have all 2 Jimmy Johnson diecast.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a picture of myself standing in front of this Shamu car at a Lowe's in Michigan when I was like 5. So when I saw it at Bristol, I told my girlfriend, I was like, Snowy, I need the Shamu car. She's like, there's a bunch of other cool ones sitting right here. Why do you want to buy the Shamu car? I was like, I'll tell you later. So, it's one of my favorite. But yeah, anyways. I've been working on this next gen set where I've been trying to fill in like the silly season stuff, and this one by far has been it's been difficult. But I put Jones in the 48. That's who I think will be filling in the 48. If not, it could be Corey. I don't know, because I know people wanted Corey to be in the 48 at some point. Like, what was it, 2019?
Yeah.
I guess picked up. But
Yeah,
so
Corey
many
even.
drivers.
Yeah, I know. There's like 12 drivers, honestly, that could take the 48. My number one's probably Eric Jones. I think he'll probably go there.
Mhm.
I'm sure people would love to see Bubba in the 48, or as you said, Corey LaJoy, because he even wrote a letter to Rick Hendrick earlier this year saying, like, hey, if you're looking for a new driver, you're looking for a new driver to replace Johnson, I'm available. So,
Mhm.
and obviously Corey just announced that he's not going back to the 32 next year.
He gone.
So,
Yep.
he gone, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from, Noah, especially. Like, even I was cheering for Bowman after Junior retired and really became a Hendrick. I became a Hendrick fan, really. I'll cheer for anyone on the team now just because of Junior.
Sorry, I was looking at my alarm. If you guys hear a chirp, I think my alarm is low on batteries. So if you guys hear that chirp, I apologize. But
No worries.
but not to steer the topic too much, but I'm going to like what Noah's saying because Noah's been a Johnson fan his entire life. Chirp, that's gonna annoy the heck out of me. Best timing ever. So, Alex, I wanted to ask you because since you and I have been, for the most part, lifelong Junior fans.
Yeah.
So I guess my question to you is, how did that thought process go with you when Junior retired? Like that process of who you're gonna root for or who you're gonna support after that.
Yeah, I was, when I found out, and even in class later that day, I was like, man, after Junior retires, who am I going to root for in 2018? And, I was sitting there going, well, Alex Bowman, he's probably going to end up taking the 88. I wouldn't be surprised. So I had no problem with him at the time taking over because I felt like when he subbed in for him in 2016, he did a really good job. And I think he proved that, the ride was for him.
Mm-hmm.
And, heck, he's got the same first name as me. But so yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll cheer for Bowman. Then I was like, yeah, I can also cheer for Elliott. Oh heck, I'll just cheer for all of Hendrick because that's who Junior drove for the second half of his career. So
that makes me realize, is Alex the only one here who has a driver with the same first name as them?
Let me think.
Noah Gregson.
Yeah, Noah Gregson.
Yeah.
Oh, he finally followed me on Twitter. I'm so happy.
Hey.
Nice.
Meanwhile, my name's I've mentioned this a couple times, but my real name's Nicholas, and I can't even think of anybody.
And then my name is so rare that I've only met one other person in my life with the same name as me, Griffin. So.
Rick, you'd be surprised how few Nicholas or Nicks there are too. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I can definitely say Griffin Spears sounds like a fictional EA Sports driver for sure. I can see that.
Yes.
I actually have met someone with the same first and last name as me.
That's like a situation where it's like there can only be one. There's a rip in the universe right here. This can't happen.
I disagree. I think it's a pretty common name in my opinion.
Yeah. Actually, come to think of it, you're right.
Yeah, because what happened was I got season tickets for FC Cincinnati when they first became a team, and the guy was like, "Hey, I think I might be in your seat." We were next to each other. I was like, "What's your name?" Alex Gray. I was like, "That's my name too." And he went, "No way, no way!"
No,
like, they mixed our tickets up.
Okay.
They mixed our tickets up because I was supposed to be in a different section.
Oh
so I
my
was like,
gosh.
"What are the odds?" Like, that's hilarious.
Okay, guys, keep talking for a second. Keep talking about that. I'm going to figure out this alarm because I don't want the listeners to hear this chirp and think, what the heck's going on? And someone's in their head, but in all reality, okay. So you guys are going to watch me take care of that alarm, and you guys are going to keep talking about the Alexes and the who's going to be in the 48. Okay? Be right back.
Okay.
Copy that.
Sounds good.
Me as Nicholas, literally the only Nicholas I could think of in all of motorsports is Nicholas Latifi in F1. That's basically it.
I almost said Nico Rosberg, but I was like, that's close.
Close.
Yeah.
Latifi did the 48.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a plot twist?
Okay, so I just took out the battery in the alarm. Hopefully there's no more chirps. And
that's awesome.
yeah. So
Sure.
So what were you guys talking about?
Nicholas Latifi did the 48. That's
I don't know. You were only gone for like 3 seconds. So we
I
already went
know.
off.
It was a lot quicker than I thought. So yeah, but I guess so going back to what Alex was talking about with Dale Jr. So the
There
chirp.
it goes.
I hate the chirp. That is going to bother me. Best time to do a podcast and nice.
Throw it out the window.
Anyway, so I don't know, when Bowman was announced that he was going to be in the 88, I was not really as big of a supporter, I guess, of that move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was one of the most interesting ways to kind of fill in a ride, because usually you fill in a ride because you're proving yourself in a lower series. But Alex Bowman, before he drove the 88, I remember when his car caught fire and that guy got out to extinguish the fire, but he tripped over the extinguisher.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year that was, but it was hilarious. But like, not even like 5 years later, he was in a Hendrick Cup car. Like,
yeah.
it's such a peculiar situation for Bowman,
Yeah.
because he proved himself, and he only raced in the 88 for, gosh, how many races was it?
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
fact check this. I think it was like
Is
6 or something like that.
4?
Yeah, it was.
I
It was
wanna say
weird,
it was
because
3.
Hendrick was just like, yeah, he'll work. It was peculiar. It was interesting.
I want to say it was 3 or 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm fact checking that right now.
Because Gordon was the rest of that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon came out of retirement to drive
Right.
the 88.
Yeah.
In fact,
The other thing was, too, me being a junior fan, at the time, I looked over at Jeffrey Earnhardt, who's driving the Hulu car at the time. I was like, I wouldn't mind rooting for another Earnhardt, too, but
1,
he's gonna-
remember?
2, 3,
Side-
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
And then-
9, 10.
oh my God.
Bowman
dude.
raced 10 times in 2016.
Okay. Yeah, when they announced Jeffrey was going to Joe Gibbs Racing, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, Jeffrey's going to be in a good car. He's going to be in a really fast car. And then depression hit when.
And
Yeah.
depression.
Why did he not go with Joe Gibbs after that?
I
What was
think
the
it was something with IK9 or something.
Mhm.
I never really.
people told me he didn't follow through with Joe Gibbs because so much of the Earnhardt fan base was pissed off when he was in a Toyota.
Really?
That's so stupid, honestly.
I can say right now my family wasn't happy about it.
Are we talking about the IK9 situation? Because Slapshoots talked about that, or was
Yeah,
it?
I don't know. There was a lot of speculations. There was people saying that just because Jeffrey Earnhardt just said, "I don't want it." There's a lot of people saying that. There's a few people talking about how it's like the IK9 situation, because like they took the logos off of their stuff before a race.
Yeah.
And then they
But I
had
wasn't sure what it was. I don't know if that was just for NASCAR sponsorship or just the 18 in general.
Mhm.
Slapshoots. I remember in one of Slapshoots videos, he mentioned that the whole thing was started because of how Jeffrey himself pulled out, because he was supposed to be getting some sort of extended offer with Gibbs, but that wasn't going to happen because of Bell or whatever, and that's how IK9 got in that whole debacle in the first
That's
place.
interesting.
That is
That's-
interesting.
that's
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
What
I
if?
know they
Am
had
I right?
sponsorship. Yeah, I
So
know
what-
they had sponsorship for Deegan or something, and that got pulled.
Yeah, I
after.
never really knew the whole story because I was like, why?
I don't
He's in
know.
a good car.
Because people compared it to like DC Solar, but they're like, no, it's not like DC Solar. And I'm like,
No.
what is it? They're like,
It's not like
oh,
DC
no.
Solar, but it's an actual business.
Yeah.
We're talking about a company got raided by the FBI.
Yeah, there's a bit of a difference here.
FBI,
Yeah.
open up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess going back to the 48, so let's just for giggles, let's have each of us pick like a driver who we think will be in the 48, and we support that. So like for example, I say that Corey LaJoie will be in the 48, and then you guys pick who do you think will be in the 48, and then give like a good reason like why that driver is going to be in the 48.
So this is just who we think, not who we want.
Okay. We can play that game. So, so to be real, I think that Eric Jones will be in the 48, but personally, I want Corey LaJoie in the 48. But yeah, like again, if I was the overlord of NASCAR, like I would put Corey LaJoie in the 48s. So, yeah, because I think it was Alex. Didn't you say there was like 16 different choices of drivers that could be in the 48 or something like that?
Theoretically, yes. There's several drivers you could pick because the cool thing is you got Ally. You don't have to worry about sponsorship as much.
They have a sponsorship ally.
Yeah, we have an ally. Ha ha ha. That play on words.
Ah,
Got him.
Yeah. So I think, see, if I was God Emperor NASCAR, as Slapshoes once said, and I could have anything my way, and there was an Xfinity driver that wants to come up to Cup,
Mm.
I would like to know how well Austin Cindric would do in the 48. Austin Cindric wheels that Penske car in the Xfinity Series. And I don't know if it's just because that Ford Xfinity car is real good, because isn't there only like 2 Xfinity cars that are Fords, and they're pretty much
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that's the case. Cindric races pretty rough. He races real rough, and he's really phenomenal, like behind the wheel, especially at road courses. He's been showing his worth at speedways now recently this year. If he went behind the wheel of a Hendrick car, I would be very curious as to how he would do, especially alongside guys like Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. And, especially with the kind of team that Hendrick is, their prowess, their strategists, and how well they, do a strategy on some occasions. It'd be interesting to see how Cindric would do in the 48. But that is if I was God Emperor of NASCAR.
Yes.
Realistically, I can see another Logano situation happening with Eric Jones. I feel like Eric, gets rushed up to that 20 way too quick, and then he gets kicked out of it, and then he goes with another team that he ends up just absolutely dominating. And I don't know. I'm not saying this. We're going to have another champion, with Eric Jones. I mean, I feel like Eric's got a lot to prove, but he also has potential. He shows his worth, on some weekends, and he fights his way to the top in some fascinating ways. We've seen it at play tracks before. We've seen it play out. He's got it in him, but he's just, I just don't feel like he's at home in the 20 car. I don't think he's comfortable in it. I don't think he's got communication with the team. But if he got nailed down with the perfect car, with the perfect team, I feel like he would be a weapon. He could be.
Wouldn't that be something? Sorry, wouldn't that be something if both of those Logano situations were out of the 20 car?
Yeah. It was both 20 car. Different sponsors, different year, obviously, but it was pretty much a similar situation.
And then watch 3 years later, Christopher Bell, same exact thing.
Yeah, the 20 car's cursed.
I'm a little skeptical about that.
When Christopher Bell gets booted out for Ty Gibbs or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
Alex, is Alex' turn to pick?
Alex, who do you think? And let's do both. Yeah, who do you think and who do you want be in the 48?
Who do I think? Well, I'm with you guys, Eric Jones. I see another Logano-like situation there, as you guys have said. That's just the bottom line. I think he's a top candidate for sure. That's just something I saw coming early on in the season, even before the bad stuff struck. And the bad, yeah.
The bad.
And who I want to see, I'll pick someone different. Bubba Wallace.
I was thinking about that actually. Yeah, I'm glad you pick him. If it weren't for Corey, I would definitely want to see Bubba. Like, I truly think that if Bubba has like a decent ride, I honestly think he can kick some ass. I honestly do.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Anytime I see him up there in the top 10, he's wheeling that car.
Yeah.
But when his car starts to fall off, he falls off hard. And I think that's just RPM.
Mm-hmm.
When he's up top and he's up there with them, he's up there at the top 5, he's getting a little bit of clean air or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. He keeps it there. Like, he doesn't usually lose spots. Because I know this package we got right now, it's stereotypically called the restart package. The only time you make passes, the only time any position is made or anytime cautions come out, it's within those first 4 laps of a restart. And every time I see Bubba Wallace on a restart, he is licking the stamp and sending it, my guy. I don't know what it is. It's crazy when I watch him on these restarts, and it showed I just wish we had a package that actually showed, these drivers in their full colors. I've been advocating that for a while. I feel like the only time we get to see the brilliance of any of these drivers is on the restarts.
Yeah.
It's the only time we get to see it.
Either that or it's a complete crapshoot every single restart too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, giving the drivers absolute more control, because Bubba drives the living crap out of that 43 every week. I mean, we've all seen it.
Yeah.
If he, I could tell back when he was still driving in the trucks for Gibbs, I felt like, this guy's really good. And I think if you just give him a shot in a really good car, he's going to do some awesome things.
Yeah, but
It goes with a lot of drivers in this field.
Oh
It
yeah.
disappoints me, man. There's a lot of drivers that I see with flashes of talent that I feel like if Jamie McMurray could have had a really good car in his heyday,
mhm.
oh
Yeah.
man, he would have been so good. There's so many drivers that just got held down by bad equipment that it makes me
Yeah.
I think part of that,
crazy.
kind of building off the McMurray comparison, I think part of that shows because wasn't that, now that was the year before I was born, so I don't know for certain, but wasn't Marlin on his way to the title the year McMurray pulled the upset after he got injured?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Because
Oh yeah, that was like
either
his
point
year.
leader
Yeah.
or like up there in points. I could fact check that.
I think
Yeah, he was up there.
I think Marlin was first or second in points when he got injured, and then so McMurray was in a championship contending car when that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his first few races.
Let me take a look here. Yeah, because Marlon, like he was almost like gonna win, and here I have it up. No, so Mark Martin was the point leader after Dover, which was the race before Kansas, and then Marlon was fourth, 81 points out. So, so he was contending, but he didn't.
McMurray still stands.
Yeah, he wasn't the point leader. So after Kansas, he was fifth, 121 points out.
While you're there, wasn't Jimmy like third at the time too?
At that same time, Jimmy, he was the point leader at the time. So, yeah,
Just some young rookie named Jimmy Johnson. I heard he's pretty good.
yeah, well,
some doofus from California who like rides dirt bikes or something. We don't know who he is.
yeah, yeah. He had one fluke win at in the Busch Series in 2001, and that's all we know.
Yeah. Is that the same guy that like flew into a guardrail and like got out like he was Superman? Yeah, what a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
What's a break? Am I right?
What a lad.
I actually gotta go for a quick second. I'll be back in a couple minutes, and then I'll give you my pick. But
Okay,
so,
sounds good. Thanks,
All right,
Chad.
buddy.
so keep that conversation going, so that way we don't change subjects, and I'm still relevant.
Oh, we're
Okay.
totally not going to do that. I apologize. It's just the way the
I'm-
convo goes.
Yeah, I'm not going to remind him to change because I never do.
All right, that's fine. So yeah, just come back here when you can, and I guess just a reminder too. So this is all like run on the Discord, and so the link to the Discord is in the description below. And I do have some friends, and if you are a friend, you can join the friend chat, and yeah, we can continue this good old conversation. We got Noah, the NR 2003 man, sweet, and then Alex Gray, of course, here as well. So.
Hello.
So while we're continuing this silly season, so one random thought and question I could throw to both of you guys. So whoever drives the 48, do you guys want to keep it as 48, or do we want to switch the number up on that car?
Well, I've been experimenting that with the next gen set.
Yep.
Good friend of mine, Harris Lou. You guys would probably see him on Twitter, the Fox Body Man.
Yeah.
He came up with this idea. I'm pretty sure he's heard it from a few of his friends in the grapevine, and they've kind of mulled it over. But I like his idea with like changing the font of the number,
Yes.
keeping the number, but change the font, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I've been doing that with the next gen set. I like the idea. Like you don't have to cycle through a bunch of friggin' numbers, every time you get a new driver in. Because I personally don't like when, I love the 24 car. I really do. I love the Flames. I love the 24.
Yeah.
But Byron is not Jeff Gordon. Okay?
Yes.
William Byron, if you want to create a driver's new legacy, you want to create their new career, don't make it look like someone else's career.
Mhm.
Just change it up a bit. Do a new car. It's them. It's a new driver. You got a new face in your team. Don't make it look like someone else's car.
Give him a new
And-
identity.
Yeah, change
Yeah.
the font of the number. Change it up a bit. Like, sure, lean the font in a different direction. Just change something. I don't know, because it's just so. Because that's a topic of conversation that I get a lot in the NASCAR design community. Is like, what would you change for the new driver coming in? Because I know sponsors like to keep the same identity,
Yeah.
right? When doesn't matter if it's a new driver. They want to keep the car the same. They want it to look like the car they've had for years because they want people to be used to it, and they're happy with the paint scheme they got. They don't want to change it. It's really hard to, move a sponsor around because you want them to keep giving you money.
Right.
But you control the font, right, as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how much the team really has in the say in the number, like the font and whatnot. I don't know if the sponsor gets to control that either. I haven't gone that deep into NASCAR design, but I can for sure say I'm pretty sure Hendrick has a lot to do with it, if you can copyright your numbers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, like, I don't know if it means anything, but on some of the numbers, like, you see a little, like, TM or, like, C or whatever, like, on the
Oh yeah,
number
Or the
itself. So,
R circle.
yeah, like
oh
it's
yeah.
trademarked or whatever the case may be. And, yeah, Jed, I thought you left.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
I didn't take long.
yeah, and
He's back.
we totally changed subjects, so I'm sorry.
It didn't take long for us to- I'm sorry. Okay. You want to, Jet? Do you want? I'm sorry.
Do you still want me to give my take?
Yeah,
go
might
ahead.
as well. We didn't go too far away. So yeah, Jed, who do you who do you think who do you want and who do you think will be in the 48?
Who do I think? I think it's going to be Eric Jones, like you guys have said. So
Yeah.
just you've already beaten that topic to death. So just to be a little bit different, I think the second most likely would be Bubba Wallace myself, and
Yep.
my reason is not just because of how there's a good argument to be made that he's the best free agent besides for Jones, but I really feel like his connection with Jimmy is good enough to possibly get Jimmy to recommend him
Hmm.
more so.
Oh yeah, because we've seen a situation like that.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't know how likely that'll be, but I'm
Yeah.
kind of thinking, and the irony of that situation would be the fact that I think it could go full circle because that's in a way part of how Jimmy got his right in the first place because of his friendship with Jeff that he made because of his how he was impressed despite being a little under the radar. We could see that happen a second time. The only difference being the fact that Bubba's in the Cup Series at this point and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As for who I as for who I want, the obvious answer, who I wanted the 48, is of course Mike Harmon. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, the goat.
Okay, in all
Applebee's sponsorship.
now,
Yes, that'd be a great
now,
fight. Anyway.
now this is probably going to be a little bit of a weird hot take, but who I want, I know a lot of people get annoyed with the whole number swap situation, but I think what I personally would want would be to have Alex Bowman switch to the 48, and then the 88 goes to Bubba Wallace. And my reasoning is that we can get some of the sponsorship situation cleared with Bowman by getting Ally on board with him, and then with Bubba, he'll have people coming over, presumably like DoorDash in Colombia, but then he'd also have the opportunity for some of Hendrick's associates, like if Exalta wanted to get on, or Acronis, Cincinnati, that kind of stuff, while Ally covers the 48. There'd be a lot of logistics involved in that, but I personally think that will be the best case scenario from the different perspectives. Plus, not to mention, I'm kind of biased, but I think it would be sick to see the guy that I saw get his first career win get into 48, and that would easily lock him up as my new favorite after this. But that's a biased situation.
I like that.
Proper bias.
Yeah, no, I like that switch. It reminds me of 2018 when we originally thought that Chase Elliott was going to be in the 24 and then Byron was going to be in the 5. And then we got that
Yeah.
big announcement where Byron all of a sudden was going to be in the 24, and it's like, oh, okay. And then Chase Elliott is
Yeah.
in the 9. So, yeah, I mean, so no offense, Jet, but I don't think it'll happen. But I would love to see that. It gets my what if jingles jingling, if you will. So the other question that when you left that we were talking about is if Jimmy or like do we want the number to switch? Because you mentioned that Jet like the number switch.
Right.
So in your opinion, do you want to see whoever drives it drive a 48 car, or like one person who is it Joshua Roberts said like the 25 car or something like that? What are your thoughts on that?
See, it's really funny you mentioned this because I haven't told you about this, but I've told Noah and Alex this. I actually painted a concept car the other day that was a generic Ally 25 because I had a thought in my mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm 50-50 on it personally. I'm pretty sure they would keep the 48 because of the branding perspective, and that's part of Ally's brand identity. So I think they do that. Should they do it? It's 50-50. I know this is a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but if they were to switch out the 48, I would prefer going to the 25 instead of the 5. That's just my personal opinion
Yeah. Well,
because
so
I understand that the 5 is like a historic Hendrick number, but I think it's kind of okay if they push that aside. And even though this probably shouldn't matter that much, the 25 font is obviously a lot closer to the 48 than the 5 font is to the 48. So I feel like that would give a bit more cohesion, even if that's kind of out the window with Chase's number already.
Yeah, and actually, I'll add on to that. So a couple of thoughts. First of all, in the the what do you call it, the NASCAR Heat Pro League series, there is a
They have
there is a 25 Ally car in there. So that could be a sign that could happen in real life. And then also to add on to your theory about Alex Bowman being in the 25 Ally car, because Alex Bowman, remember, did that throwback to Tim Richmond, who drove the 25 car last year, I think it was. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where the stars like align, and it's like, Hendrick, if you can actually read the signs, like, I could see that work actually. So have the 9 to 24 to 25, and then the 88 be driven by Eric Jones or Bubba Wallace or whoever the case may be. See, that's the stuff I love talking about. Just like all the different what ifs, and then like all of you designers that are in the chat, if you guys want to create that version of that car, go for it. Just make stuff like that. So, I guess any other thoughts on the whole Jim Jam, who drives a 48? Anything else you guys want to mention on that?
Whoever gets it gets the boom confetti.
Yes. So
I agree completely.
I'm Eric Jones, boom confetti, and then I have to update the short so that it's now him instead of Jimmy Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And then I put in music that's actually not copyrighted because that video actually I got copyright claimed because of the music I used. Yeah.
Dang.
So speaking of controversy, Kyle Larson. So
oh boy,
There's
we go.
There's been a lot of a lot of speculation, and of course Tony Stewart was on the what was it, a radio show or something like that, and he was talking about Kyle Larson coming back on. So I guess I'll start. So going back to what I want versus what I think. I think that Larson will be back in NASCAR sooner rather than later, and he will be in the 14 car because, again, like it seems like all the stars are aligned. I personally want to see Briscoe in the 14 car because, honestly, I feel like Briscoe has worked his ass off, especially this year, like with the race at Darlington, with Kyle Busch, and then just how he's pretty much been working to get to where he's at now. I think it should be paid off, and I think the 14 ride is a good ride that suits him. Plus Chase Briscoe, as far as I'm concerned, is Mr. Ford, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, and of course everyone like wants to see Larson in a legit ride because I mean Larson's kicking ass in all the dirt races nowadays. So I don't know. I guess what do you guys think about that?
I personally think kind of half and half. And you also have to think with Corey LaJoie now leaving the 32, I have sneaking suspicions that Stuart Haas may, do what JGR's done with Furniture Row and LFR. And maybe you wonder if either maybe they put Briscoe in the 14 and Larson might have a 2012 Kurt Busch season where he has to prove himself and he's in the 32 or vice versa. I could see something like that happening. For sure, I think Larson will be back sooner than later.
I think so.
Already on it.
Yeah. I've been delving into this for quite a bit. This whole silly season stuff, and yes, Larson has been one of the placards that I've been moving around on this chart. But like you said, I really feel like it'd be in Stuart Haas' best interest to utilize this Go Fast Racing Alliance as not like as a way to like we're gonna put you out of business kind of way, but like utilize it to keep to pull up a driver and put them into Cup because they've had enough experience, right? Mm-hmm. Get that team to a competitive state. Use it, because Stuart Haas got some old drivers, right? They got two slightly young drivers. Eric's getting up there. Cole Custer's really young, obviously. Kevin Harvick is, oh boy, Kevin Harvick's age is showing, but it definitely isn't showing his talent. Like I don't know how much longer Kevin wants to keep driving, but I feel like he could just drive for 5 more years with the way he's driving right now.
Yeah.
But we saw this kind of racing from Jimmy Johnson in 2016, and 4 years later, look where we're at now. You never know what's going to happen. But I could totally see a situation where we keep bring up, I don't know if we should bring up Briscoe yet. You know, because we've been seeing so many times where we bring up a driver way too early and they don't perform and they drop. Like we saw Daniel Hemrick, who we thought was going to be the next big thing in Cup, and he goes up to the 8 car, gets one pull at Kansas, gets a bunch of top 20s and left. You know, it's like it's so hit or miss now, and it has a lot to do with the fact that the Xfinity cars are nothing like the Cup cars now.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? It used to be like these like the Busch series and the Cup series. It was just a horsepower difference. You know, the throttle control was just about the same. You know, the setups were the same. It was pretty much, you couldn't tell the cars apart except for the stickers. But now you got a car tomorrow and a rail car, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so different. And the only time you're going to see these drivers in the Xfinity series who are really dominant in these kind of cars, a lot of throttle control, a lot of driving, and they get into the Cup series, you're only going to see them perform well if they're with a good team.
Yeah.
You know, with a team that has the right setups for these kind of tracks that allows them to go fast. You know, they're not going to have time to adjust to a car. It's going to take them a while to adjust that car before they start performing. You know, I mean, we kind of saw it with Chase Elliott. You know, it took him a while to get used to these Cup cars. It took him a while. He didn't win a race until a road course race of all things, which is bizarre. I don't know how this short track driver from Georgia is all of a sudden an amazing road course racer. That's crazy.
I mean,
but on par with, like, to finish up like what I was saying, because I know that I went off topic a little bit.
Yep.
I can kind of see Briscoe going into the 32, staying in the 32 for a bit, and then we see some movement go around to Stuart Haas, and as soon as the spot opens up, that 32 moves right into the 4 or the 14. You know, but with Larson, whether we like it or not, it's up to him whether or not he wants to come back. Right?
Yeah.
There will be, if it's not a top tier team, there's going to be a lower tier team that's going to say, come right in. Right? Whether the team wants to bring him in for some PR or if they want to bring him in just because of his sheer talent. Because Kyle Larson is a extremely talented race car driver.
Yes.
We see it every week. We see him racing his tail end off. He's a good race car driver. Right? It just, whether we like it or not, he'll be back, and it's up to him. Right, and it's also up to sponsors on whether or not they want to sponsor him after something like what happened. It's just, that's kind of a time thing.
Yeah, I guess, like, just what I don't know why I'm like random thought, but like, because one thing I'm just conflicted on is like how much of like success is driver talent versus like how good a car is. Because all I'm thinking about, like, I guess with like Bubba, for example, like, I know that Bubba, like, he has like talent and potential, but like when you have a team like RPM that's not as well funded, does that mean that Bubba is just not as good? Or the case may be, or like just like with I don't know, like Denny Hamlin or something like that, where it's just like, what if we put him in like a lower tier like car? I just want to know, like, what is the percentage? You know what I mean? Like, how much of it is like how good a car is? So like, can anybody like a nobody like for example Jeffrey Earnhardt go into like a better car? You guys know what I mean? Like, it's just the whole.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it's just so, because Kyle Larson's definitely talented for sure, but it's like if you put him in like the 32 car versus putting him in the 14. Like, can Kyle Larson go fast racing that team's first ever win in that car? Like, is he that talented, or does he have to be like in the 14 to be like a top contending like team and driver? You guys know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have
go ahead. I'll let you go because I'm going to talk for a while.
I have a potential idea for what could happen, and I don't think this is very likely, but I think it's a possibility. But this is full tinfoil hats, so get ready.
Oh boy.
I don't think this isn't very likely, but I think it's a slim possibility. Hear me out on this one. So, Boyer stays in the 14, Almirola stays in the 10. We get Briscoe to the 32. Now, where does Larson go? My idea, Larson runs a part-time second car for Go Fast with SHR support. And what does he do with the extra time since he's part-time? He runs Tony Stewart's new SRX series to try to get publicity around that.
That's an idea.
And my thinking is that Tony would try to get this deal done with Larson so that way he can be reintroduced to the motorsports market more slowly, so that way we know for sure nothing stupid's going to happen with sponsors out of that. But at the same time, he gets with a team he's comfortable with, because Eric Estep talked a little bit about this with how Go Fast isn't afraid to get involved in a little bit of off-track controversy and that kind of stuff, but he has the SHR support, and he gets to keep doing what he enjoys with dirt tracks. He gets a few NASCAR races, and he gets a lot of exposure from this SRX venture, which I think Tony would want as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a big brain thought there.
I know, I know that's pretty unlikely, but I think there's a small possibility that something like that could happen.
I like your thinking.
Maybe, yeah, but realistic, yes.
For sure.
It sounds like a real world situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Noah, were you about to go on a tangent or like a nice little event session?
Yeah, slightly. It's kind of based off of what you're talking about with like, what's the ratio between a good driver and bad equipment, vice versa.
Yeah.
There's I know a lot of you have heard of a driver of the name of Mahavir Raghunathan. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you got drivers like Mahavir, right, that go up through the ranks in a slightly uncharacteristic way, right? And there's drivers that go through the ranks in a very consistent way, right? Where you build your way up by winning, being successful, or you build your way up only because, maybe you have to be in that division before you're all the way at the top, But there's also stuff that branches out from those two different kinds of drivers. Now, there's really good drivers who get rushed up and they fall off, right? Because there's some good drivers that will not be good unless they have some experience under their belt in that certain division, right? Now, you can see a driver really, really good in the Xfinity Series and not perform at all in the Cup Series. Sometimes those drivers, you give them 2 years, maybe 3, and then they'll finally win a race, right? That's your Chase Elliott's, right? Give them some time, and they turn into fantastic drivers. Now, then you have drivers like in Eric Jones' situation, where he was fantastic in the Xfinity truck, comes up to Cup, doesn't do well at all, and now he's being dropped from his ride. It's also similar to a Joey Logano situation. They're like the rookie of the year. They're like a really great rookie or whatever. They're fantastic, and then they go, and then they keep going. It's like, oh, they suck, and then they finally like pop off later in their career. But then you have drivers like your Mahavir Raghunathan's, where it's like they kind of go up the ranks and they just don't perform at all, no matter if you give them time or not. Because bottom line, most of these guys who are in trucks, in Xfinity, in Cup, are phenomenal at racing. They're amazing race car drivers. There's a reason why they're in a Cup car and an Xfinity car. But there's some people who are in those Xfinity cars and Cup cars because sponsors want them to be in that car, right?
Yeah.
Money controls a lot. Right? Money controls a lot of things. If any of you have watched Speed Racer, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right? It controls a lot of stuff that we do not know about. And that controls a lot of rides, that controls a lot of careers, and it controls a lot of destinies. And that is something that we are just going to have to get over. And that's something that we do not have control over. And it's something we can't predict. But if you are a phenomenal enough of a driver and you know how to adjust to a car, you know how to race, right? There's no doubt that you will show forth in, the top division, no matter what. Whether it takes time or if it's instant. But if you're a bad driver and you're in good equipment, it will show quickly. Which is, and then that brings in another factor of like, giving drivers super high expectations, or drivers having super low expectations and they perform really, they form decent or something in bad equipment. We just think they're the GOAT, which is, like in Bubba Wallace's situation, he's in the spotlight, but we are forgetting that he's pretty much only had like 2 years in Cup. Which, Chase Elliott got in Cup, 2016? Didn't have a win until 2018. That's 2 years, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just a form of expectations as well. It's something, there's so many factors of all this. It's not just one thing. It's always something different. And it's something we don't think about when we get into little Twitter scrabbles about our favorite drivers,
Gotta love Twitter.
We love Twitter around here.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Good old Twitter.
Praise me to Twitter. Does not give me a good old anxiety attack every single day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Larson goes. It'll be interesting if he does come back, when, whatever. Yeah, and you know what? If I ever do bring one more Spark back, it's going to be less about money, and it's like, you know what? If you're good, you get a cup ride. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you know how logic goes the other way? My logic is, I don't care if you don't have any money. If you have a good car, a sponsor will be like, "Hey, come on up to the Cup Series," and that's the way how the cookie crumbles. And
Yeah.
yeah, I totally plan on hopefully eventually bringing one more Spark back. Random drop right there. Yeah, like it's gonna be one of those things. It's not gonna be for a while still, but like yes,
Just
and that's a big
casually.
yeah,
That was a bombshell. All right.
a little bit. We can
I
talk
can't-
about
Griff, I can't tell you how much your like shorts and your Dale Earnhardt Still Alive and your One More Sparks inspired me to do all this NR stuff because you
Yeah.
guys like you and your TNT mans and your Cody H Gamings, you guys like definitely put a lot of designers and a lot of people like creatives into a position where they can create stuff that they feel like they enjoy. They're just making it because they like it. They're not making it because other people like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's like you would never think people in the NASCAR community would be making stuff like this. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a totally
Yeah.
different window to like a community. Because you think people who like NASCAR, it's like, oh, you guys like watch NASCAR and stuff, right? It's like, yeah, and also, you
Yeah.
wouldn't think it'd be a thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, I love more than ever. I love painting cars and doing stuff in NR 2003, and continuing the Sunday Night Lights thing, and just like the creative freedom you can have for that game is absolutely incredible for a 17-year-old game.
And I was just about to talk about that. I think without NR 2003, a lot of this wouldn't really be possible, not just in the literal sense of the fact that it would be different, but I think about so obviously I'm a big fan of sports and I watch a lot of different sports and I'm involved in a lot of different sports gaming things. And I take a look at some of these what if scenarios. Like the NBA community has a lot of what ifs that they do through 2K and stuff, and obviously things are going to happen through like Madden and the show with all the custom rosters and stuff people can create.
Yeah.
You can explore things like that. NASCAR, you don't really have anything like that besides for NR 2003
Yeah.
because of how all the way all the other games are constructed because of licensing and how their silly seasons are so limited and when there was one and all that stuff. But with NR 2003 and the large community you have for it, you can really create pretty much any kind of NASCAR world you want, even
Yeah.
completely fictional, which is why NR 2003 leagues are so popular and stuff, or the things like Griff is doing and what Griff is doing and what Alex is working on now and all that stuff with these explorations you could do of NASCAR history through these things, through what ifs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, NR 2003 is goated, and you can't change my mind.
Yeah.
NR 2003 is the best game ever.
Yeah, and so one thing I wanted to throw out there is that, like, I know, so NR 2003, of course, like, long live NR 2003, but it just blows my mind that, like, because I look at, like, iRacing, because as far as I'm concerned, iRacing is, like, to a degree, like, the next NR 2003, but there's, like, so much money, like, involved.
It has
with
the potential for it,
It
We've
does.
got the AI racing, but
Yeah.
you've also just you don't get the fictional tracks, you don't get the unstamped
Yeah.
cars in the fictional templates, you don't
Mhm.
you don't get to control every aspect, like how fast the cars go or how grippy the track is, or I could sit down for like a month and watch a bunch of tutorials that like Mystical's made on making mods, and I can make my own mod,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I can make my own track. Like I make car sets,
Mhm.
paint schemes, right?
Yeah.
I could retexture tracks. What can I do in iRacing, right?
Yeah.
I could drive really fast, and I can watch AI races, and I can spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
can go burr.
I make this comparison a lot, right? I love iRacing, right? I
Mhm.
use iRacing to paint cars. I use iRacing to connect with people, right? iRacing is for, as far as NASCAR, fans go, iRacing is for people who enjoy racing NASCAR.
Mhm.
NR 2003 is made for people who enjoy watching NASCAR, right?
Mhm.
That's the difference between NR 2003 and iRacing. iRacing has the potential to be an NR 2003, but there's a paywall, right? NR doesn't have that. There's a lot of people who have access to NR 2003, and that's the reason why NR is so popular. Anyone can use it. I mean, of course, not everyone can use the mods because some of the mods are pretty heavy. Some of the tracks are pretty heavy. Like I've been doing some of that ray tracing stuff. I mean, not everybody can do that, right? And that's why people make videos on it. So, people can watch it and they can enjoy it.
Right.
But with iRacing, it's like you can't use iRacing unless you've dumped like $70 into the 3 cup cars and a couple tracks. It's definitely tough to get into.
Yeah,
no doubt. iRacing would be very popular if it had the accessibility that NR had. Boy, that'd be mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Alex?
Yeah.
You can go, Alex.
Oh, you can go if you want.
I was just gonna make a little joke about how technically not everybody can because I have a Mac and
Oh man, you know what? Yeah. I hung out with a friend who he's a big NASCAR fan, and I told him about NR 2003, and he saw all the mods. He was like, "This is so sick!" But guess what? When he tried to get it, I was like, "Oh wait, you have a Mac." Dang it! But yeah, I mean that's what I love about NR 2003. Like, I like to go on that one site that has all the mods listed. There's a rally mod.
Yeah,
it's so cool. People have made like they're completely fictional offline racing worlds of like all these different circuits. I'm like, man, that is so cool. That is so creative. I love that people do that. I love NR 2003. It's
shout out to Sign On 44 or Sign On for making Rainbow Road, the Mario Kart track, making that an NR 2003 track. Like, man, if I had the time, I would love to do the short just on that.
I've been spending some time checking out some of the work that they've been making, and some of the tracks that they make, it's mind blowing. Fictional tracks, revamps of tracks. That's what I'm talking about. Like this NR community is dedicated, and they're really good at what they do. Right, there's people that know how to fix things. There's people that know how to make the game run better. Like the Ben Crazy is putting out videos so you can just optimize NR to run at like 60 frames. And it's just a huge. I was blown away by this community when I first came into it. I think I came in pretty late compared to a few people. I came in like, the BR Gen 6 2015 mod had just come out. Let's just say that.
Okay.
It was sort of late into the running, right?
Yep, I got
it. And I only knew about that because of like a few YouTube videos I watched. That was it.
Yeah, when I joined the community, quote unquote. So actually, I didn't get NR 2003 until the BR 12 mod, the Cup 12 mod. That's when I first got in. But like, I didn't start playing around with the videos and stuff like that until like 2014. And and then it's on from there. And so like, and that's kind of my goal with like One More Spark is just like I want to give, and that's going to be one change with One More Spark if I can really get into it, is that opportunity for other people to create things, like other like car sets and like just kind of playing with that idea of like what if. Because one of the big regrets I had with when I tried doing One More Spark 87 back in 2018, I did it all on my own. And I was doing that as well as a full-time job. And I was working, again, like between like 40, 50 hours a week while trying to keep the quality up on One More Spark 1987, which I did a Cup season, a Busch season, and an IROC season. And it's like, no. I could not do that then. But now, just with everyone else being so like creative and so optimistic, like, I want to do that, and I want to give like opportunities to like other like painters and like, oh my gosh, like if you guys can create more like I guess tracks like specific to like the late 80s, early 90s. Like I know that Jack on Discord, Jack Yadis, also known as Thunder 98, like he's already created a bunch of those. But just making stuff, like why can we not just like have a game where we can make stuff, build stuff, That, man, NR 2003 is great. Were you going to say something, Jet?
No, I already said my thing.
Oh, okay, cool. We kind of got off on a side tangent there, and it's actually getting kind of late, and we actually didn't answer really any questions, which was kind of the point of this podcast, was a Q&A. So I guess well for the last what do we got here? 7:06 my time. So we'll go until 30, so about half an hour here. Let's go ahead and let's answer a couple of random questions here, just to kind of the ball rolling here. I'm looking at the Discord right now. Let's see, Larson to 14 or Briscoe. We already talked about that. 48 talked about that. Okay, so guys, what was the wildest silly season rumor you have ever heard? And that is from Ferris K1.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it. If you have something in mind, go for it.
Okay, well, I think you all might remember this one because this was only like a couple years ago.
Is
Do you
this
remember when
JBM?
someone? Yeah, someone went on Reddit and made this detailed post claiming that KBM, Kyle Busch Motorsports, was going to go to Cup and
Yes.
have Kurt Busch in a second car. Well, I guess Christopher Bell goes to the 18, and I was like, okay, this sounds insane. And of course, it was quickly debunked like less than 12 hours later. But it was just like, huh? KBM to Cup?
Mhm.
That was something that I actually like took in consideration because I thought it sounded cool.
Mhm.
It was like
Sounded cool.
cool, you know. But then obviously I was like, nah, no way, hang on, you know.
Yeah.
But I was because I feel like that was going to be the first thing I was going to think of because I'm trying to think of like the craziest shoot. I'm gonna have to ponder on that one. I gotta think.
I could bring one up. It's not necessarily not okay. I'm gonna kind of bend the question a little bit. So this isn't necessarily silly season in terms of rosters, but the constant rumor that there was going to be a new track out in Colorado, like a new like 2 mile kind of like Michigan, kind of like California track, was going to be built by the airport in Denver, Colorado. I've heard that rumor for like multiple years when I was like a kid back in 2003, 2004. And I was kind of like waiting on that because like I went to Pikes Peak every single year. And I'm pretty sure it was Jayski who brought that up. And it's like there's a possible track in Denver. I want to see if I could bring this up to fact check it. But yeah, I just go for it.
That makes me. Does Action Pack Tracks made a track called Denver Motorsports Park?
I was gonna bring that up. That might have been the inspiration behind that track.
I actually was the inspiration to name the track because I think I don't remember which forum post it was, but it's like they were building a track but they were not sure on what to call it, and I was like Denver Motorsports Course or whatever, and it's like boom, got it, and then they stole it and ran with it,
Beautiful.
which is okay.
That is
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite fictional NR tracks.
same.
I love Denver. I love that track so much.
Me too.
I haven't been on that track actually.
Yeah, I redid the LP file, so they were on the top side on the front stretch, and with chassis 2, like just like stock, like when I'm running with them, we hit like 220 at the end of the front stretch.
Oh
like,
wow!
It's like flat. It's a flat. Ah, shoot, I forget the length of it. It's flat, but it's long. It's like Pocono, but Michigan. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like those. It's so cool, and man, it breaks my heart that Action Pack went down because they were in the middle of making a night version for it. And I just learned some basic track editing things. I could make a night version for myself.
Yeah.
But oh man, and on the topic of Action Pack, they were making a fictional Texas world.
Yeah, they were.
Texas world, and it looked amazing.
Yep.
It was so cool looking. They had the haulers in the infield at that point. They made the lights, and it looked awesome. It was, I mean, yeah, sure, it's another cookie cutter track, but come on.
Yep.
I had Pro Street as a kid on the Wii, and that was one of the tracks in it. Was Texas World Speedway, and I was like, what's Texas World? Because we go to Texas Motor Speedway. What is this? I always thought it was a fake track, and then when I turned like 13, I think, when I finally started getting back into NASCAR, I like realized, oh, that was a thing. I've been playing Pro Street all this time thinking it was a fictional track, and Texas World was an actual track. Man, I just wish there was more appreciation for some of these older tracks. Dale Jr. has been doing a good job at it. Slapshoes has been on YouTube, but some of these old tracks are cool.
Yeah. How many people cared about Airbase Speedway before Slapshoes?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway,
that's what's cool about it.
Going back to the question, you guys want to hear my ridiculous silly season rumor I saw once?
Yeah, go for it.
So Alex might know this one as well because this was another Reddit rumor with no source. But what's funny, this one technically hasn't been disproven yet, if you want to be really technical. But there was this guy that said that Denny Hamlin was going to be leaving Joe Gibbs after 2021, and that he and Michael Jordan were starting a new Cup team to start with the next gen car.
Hmm. Okay.
If you want to be technical, that one hasn't exactly been disproven yet because, of course, that's 2022. But
Right.
we would have heard something by now, probably. But but now there's the rumor going around that what if Michael Jordan could be the celebrity investor in RPM that's been rumored for real? So
Hmm.
you never know. Maybe the absolute insane Reddit rumor was right because they've been.
But then
It's been
again, that's Reddit, so you gotta be careful about that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
for your information, there was some guy on Reddit that somehow got the information that there was going to be a white Jimmy Johnson scheme this year, and like a couple days before it was announced.
Okay,
So
you pushed a button on me.
it,
I'm gonna pull a Noah. I'm gonna vent. I'm gonna rant for a couple minutes. I do not like leaks whatsoever. Like, if there's going to be a news thing, it should come from the source. I think we're at a
Right.
point now in social media where it's like if there's an announcement or something like that that's going to happen, you can hear it from them. Because, and like, so no offense to like Adam Stern and like Bob Pockrass and those other people, where it's like they have like the in of like possible changes, and then it gets like leaked out. That's and so going to like the silly season stuff, it's like it's still fun to like speculate and think of different things, but because of what we've learned from them, it's like, oh, we already know what's going to happen, and like all the fun is pretty much like dropped, because then like once the announcement happens, it's like, oh, we already know thanks to Adam Stern or whatever the case may be. So back in the day, like it makes more sense because there is no like platform for them to like make their announcements or whatever the case may be. But nowadays, it's like you got Twitter, and so if Stuart Haas wants to announce that, hey, Kyle Larson's going to be in the 14 car, they can do that. They don't have to like whisper to like Adam Stern, and then Adam Stern reports it like freaking 5 days before the announcement. It pisses me off. It honestly does. Like, how in the world do they get this information? And like with leaks too, like the person who leaked the 48 car beforehand. It's like, how did they go into like Hendrick and like get the blueprints of that 48 car beforehand and like get that all out? It irritates me like so much. And that's one reason why I'm not entirely a fan of social media and Twitter, because of those leaks. And it's like, to a degree, it's like, oh, that's interesting news. But again, I want to hear it from like Corey LaJoy when it was announced that he was going to leave the 32 car. No offense to Jim Utter, but I would rather hear it from Corey LaJoy first, and then Jim Utter maybe could explain some more things later. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. So sorry, random side tangent, but
No, that's
I get that because sometimes it can ruin the surprise, which I mean that's a kind of childish way to think about it, but it's a reasonable way to think about it because like I always love hearing that new scoop, you know.
yep.
But like when it's a leak, it's like it kind of like I kind of go, okay, so it might be happening, and then I find out it is happening. It's like okay, well now I kind of already knew, so now it's not as cool anymore.
right.
It's
It's
always
just
kind of
ruined.
groundbreaking when you hear about it. You see it, you know, actually posted by NASCAR or something like that. It's just something cool. That's just why I get a problem with what's it called, parody accounts sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Where it's like,
Oh yeah.
Jeff
"Got
Gatot.
Square,"
Adam Star.
yeah, and it's just like, come on, because you know people are gonna hook onto that immediately. 'Cause we love
Oh
seeing
yeah.
stuff.
The sad part is every time I see a tweet from Adam Stern, I have to check to make sure it's actually Adam Stern and it's
I
not.
never thought I would ever have to do that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you really should.
And while we're on that note, did you guys see how Jeff Gluck actually had a tweet reminding people that Jeff Gatuck was not him after the rumors going around from the Levine sale and stuff? Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was frustrating. I can't believe that he had to like go out there and do that. I
Yeah.
get it, but it's not fun.
No, it's not.
Speaking of surprises, apparently Dale Hurt. Oh wait, never mind. I almost got fooled. Never mind. Nothing. Forget it. Anyway, no. Twitter is you got to be very careful with it. You can't just browse and then like look at like the very top thing, the top tweet or whatever the case may be, and then take it at like face value or whatever the case may be. But
Right.
yeah, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. So actually, so continuing with the
What it
silly, what were you gonna say?
I just said it is what it is.
It is what it is. So actually, going back to the question, so Thunderwolf 53, kind of like an additional question to what we just talked about. But what was a silly season rumor? Like, what was like? Oh, so the specific question is, which silly season rumor all time that did not pan out was your favorite?
Ooh, I got one.
Yeah.
So this was like 2012. There was a rumor that Andretti Autosport was gonna go to Cup
Mm-hmm.
and be Dodge. They were gonna go to Dodge, and I think they were gonna get like Kurt Busch or someone like that behind the wheel, but Dodge just went, I'm a head out because obviously they didn't have anyone else after Penske announced they were moving to Ford. And I was like, man, that'd be kind of cool. And I still think to this day, like, I feel like down the road, maybe Andretti Autosport might come in when, the next gen comes out. Maybe, I don't know, Honda wants to. Oh, yeah, that just reminded me of a rumor from last year. But anyway, the Petty Andretti rumor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the Andretti Autosport to Dodge rumor from 2012.
Gotcha. Noah, you got one that comes to mind?
Not necessarily. I mean, I know I usually pay attention to them, when I'm doing all my, fictional paint scheme stuff, because usually that's when I hop onto some of that good old NR content, because people just eat that right up, when they see new drivers, new cars, and whatnot. One that I tend to pay close attention to is manufacturer, like silly season stuff. I know that is. I'm gonna say right now, I am a diehard Dodge fan. I love Dodge so much, and when they left in 2012, I really didn't know what to do. I'm not gonna lie. Because as soon as Dodge comes back into NASCAR, I'm gonna be changing all my lefty Chevrolets to Dodges. Those things are, I don't know. It's something so exciting about a new car coming into a sport, like a motorsport, that just brings there's no bias, right? It's a new car. It's like, hey, let's be excited about it. Except, in 2007 happened when a manufacturer with a vowel at the end of it came and everyone lost their minds. It's just one of those things where, a stereotype comes along where it's like, it's foreign, but it's just exciting to me. It just means, a manufacturer comes in, that means the sport's doing something right. You're doing something that's bringing in new eyes, bringing in new cars. That's crazy. We haven't seen a new car since 2007. That's
Toyota.
A long time for now.
A manufacturer that will not be named.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm not. Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from with that. I want to see the Kia Stinger in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You've been seeing Skylar Fox's
His
next sticker. Man, crazy work with that. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, please.
It gets me excited because I do all these fictional. That's another thing in NR. You can make those fictional templates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like BR Gen 6 mod is so easy to make these nice, fictional templates. Whereas, now with the Monster Energy 2019 mod, everything's so brass tacks. Splash and Go did such a good job making those cars look so real as almost too difficult to make templates. You have to be on point with those templates to make them look right.
Now, ICR, on the other hand.
Oh, ICR is just absolutely universal. The cars look a bit funky. They don't look like stock cars, sure, but the universality of that mod, where you can be whatever you can have whatever tire you want. You can change the model. Everything's pretty much a universal model. It is something that everything NR needs to be. It's crazy,
for sure. Jet, you got a silly season rumor that I guess one that comes to mind for you?
I wish I did, but I haven't really. You guys know I haven't really been involved in the online NASCAR community for only the last 2 years ish.
Sure.
So I don't really have one, unfortunately. But
okay, no, that's fine. I got one, and actually, so this was before the online community. This was so the rumors was what Junior's car was going to look like when it was announced that he was going to go to Hendrick. Yeah. So for the longest time, the rumor was, and I actually painted this car in NASCAR Racing 1999 edition, showing my age. So I am. So quick side note: I'm 26. I'm gonna be 27 in freaking September. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a grandpa. I'm stone cold old because, like, yeah, I'm old. Anyway, so in 2008, when it was announced that Junior was going to Hendrick, there was no like announcement of what the number was going to be, what the sponsors were, and for the longest time, the combo was going to be number 5, and the sponsor was going to be Sony, like Sony products. And so I made like a blue number 5 car. And going back to the conversation earlier about number fonts, I changed the font on that 5 from that font to the actual like the 24 font, except it's the 5 of that font.
Like Jimmy's All-Star 5.
I
Yeah,
was
to
just
a
about to say.
degree, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay.
I made that before, and I was convinced like that was going to be the route that they were going to go, and I thought, oh, it made sense. Another blue and yellow car to fit with Gordon and Johnson and whoever was going to be in the 25. But then all of a sudden they dropped the bomb, and it's like, oh, it's going to be an 88 car, and it's like, what? And then they went
Right.
with AMP and National Guard, and it's like, oh, okay. And then Alex, you can add on all of the different concepts that they had for the car. Either grab like an 81 car or an 8 car.
car. Yeah, I remember because there was a special on TV that I watched back then when Junior making the transition over, and I remember seeing those concept schemes. And when those pictures popped up, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've been waiting so long to find these."
Yeah.
So it was just like, "Oh man, that 81 looks kind of cool." Because I remember one of the first Junior cars in the Busch series was when he drove the 81. The Taco Bell cars, the Oreo Ritz cars,
Mhm.
Those were
So-
gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alex, did you like send me pictures of the concepts of those cars? I don't remember if you did.
I'm pretty sure I did. If
Yeah.
not, I'll see if I can find them.
I'm scrolling through right now. Yeah, because I swear I thought you did. It was really interesting because like there was like one that was like yellow. I don't even remember what the
Yeah.
sponsors were on that car, which is why
I
I
think
wanted to pull them up.
The 8 I think had Mountain Dew on it,
Oh yeah, that was before they switched over to AMP.
which was a PepsiCo product, but yeah.
Right. Let's see if I can look this up. Dale Jr. concept cars.
What's up?
Ooh, I found them.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I'll send them in the chat if you want.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second here. By the way, we have another person in the talk. Corvette Racing 48.
Oh,
Can you
Hey,
hear us?
Corvette.
what's up? Hey
Welcome.
guys.
Welcome, man. So, Alex, do you have the pictures?
Yeah, let me send them in the right chat here.
Yeah. To the friend
Yeah.
zone.
Man, the temperature in my room has increased like 20 degrees. What's going on right now?
Oh well,
Oh,
you're
no.
you're in this chat. That's why.
Their
Ooh.
friend channel tab.
Popping off. Oh, I gotta shut my window.
Let's see here. Let's see the friend chat. So, Alex, are you gonna put it in the friend channel? Oh, you
There
did.
you go.
Cool.
Those look cool.
Yeah. Here, I'll
Yeah, kept the 8 car.
yeah. Here, I'll throw it up here on the screen so that the world can see it.
They should have used the 8 car, but Teresa didn't let them.
Well, of course.
Let's see. Master Heat 5 stream. Let's do that. Okay. So there's that. You guys see that. And then you guys see that. So that's the car right there. Hopefully you guys see it. Let's do this. And yeah, there you go. Right there. So it's like you got the yellow on the side, and then it still has AMP on it. But it's just the yellow doesn't fit, in my opinion. I prefer red. And then there was this one where you have like the 81 on here. I kind of like that. I just feel like 81 is more like a, what do you call it, like a secondary like car, like the 81 to someone's like 8, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And then if Junior had gone to Gibbs, you got this car,
Then-
except it's a Chevy versus a Toyota.
Then the Youth 81 at Chance 2 Motorsports, Junior's old team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to look it up because the 81 is an actual number that's kind of tied Junior in some way.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like they determined the 8 based on the National Guard logo almost. And then they had the National Guard logo changed to red so that way it fit.
But that's a good point.
Pop that number off.
Mm-hmm.
If If you switch the green and white around, the number would have been fine. That'd been an interesting look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, that's a Chevrolet.
It's a Chevy. Yes.
I think the other day, Noah Gragson posted something on Twitter, and a lot of people just started posting a bunch of old concept schemes. Like,
Yeah.
Junior even commented on it, showing like nationwide cars that never hit the track, and I was like, man, these look really cool. Like,
Jimmy Johnson had one too.
Yeah, that Jimmy Johnson one when they first announced he was going to Hendrick.
Those concepts.
A man went for 2013 concept scheme looked really cool. The one that never went on track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which they should have used instead with yellow numbers.
Oh yeah.
I think I did see those. I saw Dale's I think those are those ones that Dale showed. I think were for 2017, right?
Yeah. Noah, you're the dragon. That's funny.
Rip.
Yeah.
Oh no! I can't tell you how mad I was, man.
Here, we could look through some of these. So here's the junior one that you were talking about here. It's got a full screen there.
Here, I got one in the friend's channel.
Yeah.
The top car of yellow numbers would have been perfect.
Oh yeah. So on the screen, it has all the junior concepts right here. Man, what if? Am I right? Just so many different ideas.
What if?
Yeah.
What if
this is a mild side tangent. I just
realized DEI instead of RCR.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jed.
This is a mild side tangent, but I just realized we have 3 48 fans in this stream and 2 junior fans in the stream, so we have a full house.
Awesome.
8.
I'm one of the 48 fans.
We have
speaking
a
of 48, here, each of you guys can choose on one of these cars here. You got the 48 here, you got the other 48 here. Do you guys see the screen at all? I guess you guys can't see it in the Discord, but
I went to the stream and it's kind of delayed.
Oh yeah,
mine is delayed too. I'm still looking at the Dale Junior cars.
I wonder if there's a way I could share the screen on the Discord. Maybe
you can
try that. Now I see the
screen thing. You can share it with us at the same time, but I don't know if
do that actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll mess with the screen recording you're doing.
YOLO. We're getting to the end of the show anyway, so here I'm gonna try. So let's see here.
The encore part. This is where things start to
so let's do share your screen.
At least I'm here.
And
before I ruin everything. And the friend zone resolution. All right. So okay. So
right, cool. I see it.
You guys see the screen now?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
we got echo.
Oh, is there an echo now? Shoot.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, hey, we're still early in this game, so we're gonna figure this out.
It's all good.
All right. So wait, do you guys all hear an echo now because of this?
Go to screen, screen share. Don't do the application.
Go to screen share.
So screen doesn't do audio.
Let's see. How do I do that?
What you could also do is you could turn the audio off for the video, but keep the chat audio on. That's what works for me.
Yeah. How do I do that? Let's see. Stream settings.
Click screen again.
Let's see.
Down on the bottom left.
Bottom left. Video screen. Are you talking about for this? Not the user.
No, the green button.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then change window.
Change windows. Oh.
See where it says screens on the top next to application.
Yeah, that should work, I think.
So switch to the other screen. All right.
That should work.
Let's try that. And
okay.
Did that do anything?
Is there any echo?
No
echo. All right,
no echo.
Okay,
yep,
cool.
It's working now.
Awesome. All right.
You got it.
Got him. And thank you all 10 viewers for dealing with us. So now you guys see the Johnson cars, right, on here?
Yes.
Yep.
Yay.
That top one of yellow numbers would be perfect.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I've painted that top one before. I can't remember for what. But I love that middle one. I love that.
Yeah.
One a lot. I wish that was the 2017 scheme instead, because I just love those swooshy, swoopy Sam Bass-esque designs so much. It's so nice.
Yes.
And it would have worked with that Cobalt scheme too. It's just, it's beautiful. I love it.
Or can you guys imagine Noah Gragson in a 1 car instead of the 9?
I remember for a little bit he was supposed to be in the one,
He was supposed
and then
first.
JRM's like, nah, let's just
Yeah,
JRM just swapped
yeah.
for
We
the
got
Hey,
the
first
8.
round.
Hey, guys, they switched it up. Am I right? Haha.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have in here.
Back with Switch is still the primary sponsor for him.
Yes.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Yes.
some of these cars are nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, you got the
I like
Napa
that.
car with the black. That should be blue, in my opinion.
Will your other friends Discord chat open for next week as well? Because I joined late tonight.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Like, I'm totally down for doing this, like, every week. Just, like, having it open, and then any of you guys can join in just whenever you please.
I got, ooh.
That'd be
Okay,
cool.
I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
that
What is this?
card's
I need to
amazing.
follow this individual. Holy Christ. These are nice.
Also, Ganassi needs to go back to the old Sterling Marlin number fine. I think that's a lot better.
Yeah, I can see that, too.
Tanner Toleriso.
They still own it for Kenseth, anyways.
Yeah. This monstrosity, this Harvick car.
Oh, that was terrible.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh my.
I'm glad they added the red.
That's a funny
to that.
looking yellow. That's,
Yeah. No, I think
Yellow
the yellow
doesn't
stayed
look
the
good by
same,
itself.
if I recall.
Yeah, yellow doesn't look good by itself. It needs some red.
Yes.
Make
And-
that yellow pop a little more.
You know,
Yeah,
mild
boy.
side note, but with my keen eye, I like how Jeff Green is trending on Twitter, but I'm sure that's the basketball player.
yeah.
I already checked it as.
Not
Darn.
Ganassi,
No, it's the GOAT himself, the 2000 Pikes Peak winner.
2000.
This is an
Yeah.
interesting throwback.
Alvin Bush champion.
Yeah.
It works
Oh, that's
now.
amazing.
Actually, hang on. His mobile car looks a lot. Oh boy, hang on. Actually, it's actually kind of similar to the car he's running now.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I
Yeah.
never really made that connection. Dang.
Go back to 2003.
Yeah.
The rainbow
That really
connection.
fits.
I remember when I did a
Oh, I
Dale
remember.
Earnhardt scheme with some of the what if stuff I was doing, where in 2003 he went to that spiky scheme.
Yeah.
Oh, the Do SA car. I remember
my
that.
God, that
Oh
car's
wow,
amazing.
that's something different.
Why didn't
That-
they run that?
That looks nice, actually.
It
Yeah,
does. I really like the mix of the reds and the blues and the
Yeah.
silvers.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
Guys, we could just do this for like every podcast. It's just find a feed of all
Just
these like
look at all
concepts
these.
and just watch and just
Yeah.
analyze all of them.
Yeah.
And was it
It's like the switch
was it
card.
actually
That's all
rumored
like.
that Dale was supposed to go to his own team for like a year or two?
Yeah,
It's-
something like
There was
that.
there was a rumor that Junior Motorsports would have gotten a cup and Junior would have taken Truex with him or something.
That
Yeah.
would have been awesome.
Oh, here's some interesting
boy.
concepts.
Yo, that lake
Nice.
speed.
Nice.
That 83 car that Dale walked up their back.
Yes.
I
Like
still want
speed.
the car to
The
run.
go.
Y'all remember
Wait.
Earthwater?
Sorry.
What's that?
I was seeing that concept. Y'all remember Earthwater? Weren't they like paying BK and free samples instead of money or something?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
It's because of the 23 flavors. They were number 23, and they're like, "Hey, yo, that'd be cool, right?" And then they're like,
No, that
"Hey,
was
we could bring in
that
new sponsors like this, right?"
I mean, that was Dr. Pepper, but I mean, Earthwater, I vaguely remember they were like, Paying.
Ooh, this tickles my fancy.
Ah,
I,
Blackbeard, yes.
I want.
Man, I
I
miss
want-
Red Bull.
I am a sucker for the KCK number font. The way how it goes
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yes.
Yep.
Even
I-
the floor looks cool that way too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And seeing those numbers on the World of Outlaws car is just French kiss. Or not French kiss, sorry, chef kiss. Wow.
Let's
no.
see here.
Not the
I've got some what if Blue Emu cars. I'll drop in real quick.
Oh boy, you're gonna drop those on me.
Some cursed Bristol ones from a select car that rage quitted.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
No, Alex, I really like this car. So like, is this car for like if Dale Earnhardt went to DEI? Is that what your idea was for this?
Actually, it was made for a driver career RPG that a friend is making that I'm helping paint cars on,
Okay.
and it's an AU that begins in 2000, and one of them is Dale Earnhardt going to his own team.
Okay.
Oh, we talked about that. I think we pitched a few like what it looked like the 2003 stripes, and we
Yeah.
talked about it. That wouldn't. I feel like if Dale Earnhardt would have still been around,
Mhm.
that the 3 would have never happened because those stripes were the 3, right? They probably would have kept those old stripes up
Yeah.
until
Well,
if
yeah.
they kept DI going.
Well, yeah, in my series, remember, like, I did the lazy thing, and instead of, like, doing the E, I just chopped that off and just continued the stripes all the way down the side.
Yeah, exactly. Like they would
Right.
have done the 3 because
Mhm.
it was the 3, or well, actually, it could be an E. I don't know.
E. Yeah.
Still, I like the older ones.
Mhm.
And now we're going to criticize Noah's work here. Ooh.
Uh-huh. Now,
I really.
This was for Texas. These were two of the schemes that were pitched for Texas. Now, the one that actually ended up running for Texas was white. Yeah, let me actually just drop that one in there. But they asked me to change the white to gold, which, in my personal opinion, I like the white one better. But
I agree.
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So, like, here's what it looked like white. I'm sure you remember this design.
Yep.
But I guess they turned it into this one, which
Okay.
ended up being the gold because it looks like that gold tube that the Blue Emu,
Yeah.
is held in.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, this one was not bad. Dale Jr. even complimented it on Landon Castle's stream. He said something about, you got a nice car, I like the scheme, or something like that. And Steve Lavender tagged me. He's like, hey, yo, look what Dale said. And I was like, I'm going to cry now. So it was really neat. I had a fun time pitching the ideas for the Bristol ones, though, because that's where they let me go full swing. At Texas, it was like a tryout, for the Texas race, like, let's see what you can do. And I pitched a bunch of stuff together in a pretty decent amount of time. And then when Texas came around, they're like, all right, let's just let you go, right? So I did like 4 cars for like each Blue Emu car, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact, the Blue Emu cars were going to be Landon Castle, Bubba Wallace, and Timmy Hill.
Really?
Right? We were going to have Timmy Hill, but the sponsor that Timmy Hill ended up running ended up paying him more money, so they went with that sponsor instead. So what it was going to be was Timmy Hill's sponsor was going to be the Blue Emu brand that has the light blue primary color, because the one that Bubba ran had a red primary, and then of course Landon Castle's had a gold. So it was kind of color coded. So I came up with like a uniform scheme idea where it was like, okay, they run the same scheme, but there's one part of the car that changes color, right? Kind of like, not like a Penske thing, but it just depends on the product. I'm trying to find them in here real quick.
Yeah.
No,
But,
I just want to be sure you're not violating any FDA by saying this, right?
oh no, the scheme. We're not running the scheme anymore. Obviously, well, actually, the Blue Emu car is actually going to be potentially added in the NASCAR Heat 5
Really?
as an Xfinity car, right? So that
Wait,
is
what?
pretty exciting. Yeah. So we're trying to put that together, and it's going to be something that hopefully works. I think it's already put in, but here we go. Here's some of the Blue Emu cars here. Here's some of the bubble ones.
Okay.
So they're going to add it to Xfinity?
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh.
Ooh.
Okay. Here, I'll.
So you can see
Pop it
the
on
bottom
screen.
one there, and then here's here's Landon's. So you see the color would change.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
we went with that. The main thing they told me to
Oh,
change
that
was to
makes
make the hood
sense.
logo a bit bigger, right? So it could be seen. Here's the other Landon Castle scheme that was pitched. That one was kind of decent. And of course, you guys know which one they went with. I've got that sitting on my desk as a die cast now, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then RPM said, "All right, we want like a petty blue." I was like, "Okay, you mean like something like this?" And I went with this one.
Ooh.
And then after that, they pretty much just told me to make the throwback car from Darlington. So I ended up remaking that. They told me where to put the associates, and then the story wrote itself from there.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it was fine, honestly. Bubba reached out to me and apologized, and I was like, "It's okay," It was a pretty cool experience, I didn't know that my car was going to be the face of a controversy, but lo and behold, it happens. Like David Land was like, "Hey, can I use your picture for my YouTube thumbnail?" I'm like, "What on earth is going on?"
I
Classic.
just want to say
yeah.
the second bubble one, the one where it's the primary dark blue and stuff.
Yeah.
If Blue was a main sponsor, that would actually be like a perfect patriotic car. I just want to say that.
Yeah, throw
Yeah.
some stars on there. Sure, I could see
Oh,
that.
definitely,
it'd be great.
definitely.
But yeah, oh man, I want to see a Blue Emu car on the racetrack so bad.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool,
Mhm.
man. But we'll see. Everything's being affected right now.
Yeah, but we're being affected with creativity, with all these creative ideas. Like, for example, what if Tim Steele was in a Cup car? So, Alex, do you want to explain this a little bit?
Yeah, so we all know that there was a rumor that Brett Favre and Tim Steele's family were going to work with Bud Moore and bring over Nike and Sony as sponsors. And I had the idea of with Sony being a sponsor and Polyphony Digital, and I when I was a kid, I loved playing Gran Turismo 3. So I was like, hey, what if I put something together that, what if they promoted Gran Turismo 3 on the car? And, that's what I did. It's nothing fancy, but, yeah.
Yeah, I really like the potential on this. Like, what I would do if I had this car is like, oh man, I want to see like the cover of what the Gran Turismo 3 video game looks like.
Okay.
And like I would like implement that into like the actual car itself.
Yeah,
You
okay.
kind of know what I'm saying? Here, I'm gonna throw up like the cover of what Gran Turismo 3. Let's see, Gran Turismo 3 cover. Give me that cover. Ooh, okay. So here, I'll throw it up on here.
That game had, Gran Turismo 3 had a really nice cover.
So right here, so like if I do something like this, open image and new tab. So yeah, do that. Like, and so what I would do then is I would do like a mix of like the blacks and the reds, and I would like bend that onto like the side of the car, and like, oh yeah, it's a tail light. Yeah, and so like I would like implement like those swooshes, and it would like go across the entire side of the car. So no, I really like that. It's like one of those things, the whole like yes and. It's like give me an idea and I will totally like run with it. So no, I really like that. And what did I do with Tim Steele? Oh yeah, the 48 car Nike.
Yep, Nike.
Yeah, swoosh.
You also had the Olympic scheme with it.
Yes, the 2000 car. Yeah.
I liked that. Yeah.
I've been using that Nike swoosh idea for a couple of the what if things that I've been working on with Alex. Like that Nike swoosh idea where the swoosh goes from the front of the car to the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. It represents Nike perfectly. It's amazing.
Yeah, especially with the shoes now, because the swoosh goes across the entire shoe now.
Yeah, I've tried so hard to make like a shoe car, like it's like the design of the shoe, but I never get it to work. Like I need to find the perfect shoe that'll fit on a race car design.
Yeah.
Like, there's someone who's done a few cars where it's the van shoe. It's got the van stripe on it.
Yeah.
They did a perfect job with it. I forget their name. I think it might have been Matthew Steelman. I think that's his name. I might be mixing him up with someone else. There's so many people like Steven Merzlak's server has a lot of those guys who paint some of those fictional cars, so like their offline leagues. And one of them came up with the idea to make like a van shoe out of a car. And I'm like, well, I could do that with like Nike shoes, and then I gave up after like 3 hours.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
This is a mild side note, but just a random idea I just had. What if there was an actual Nike car, and then the hauler was like the shoe box, like with what FedEx has, with like
like an orange box, and it has like the Nike logo on it, and like have the black like on the side as if it's like the cover of like the box. I could see that. It'd be so basic, but it's one of those things. It's like if you think about it, and it's like clever guy.
Yeah, or like if there was an Amazon car, you put the big Amazon, put the big smiley on the side of the car.
The cardboard box is the hauler.
That cardboard
smiley
box. Oh my god. Do you guys remember that?
What's that?
That video, the Amazon box just flying through a Grand Prix circuit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I think we're gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna let's do one more question, just to like a fun little side question. It's about something not NASCAR related. Let's see here.
It's not one more spark. It's one more question.
Jet, I love you, man.
If I come on consistently, I'm just gonna be the bad joke guy.
Hey, no, that's my job. Okay, since this is like the ToonCar animated podcast, and I do have a little interest in animation, we don't have to go too far into this because I know we're going far on time, but like, and Alex, I guess you could throw in, but like, what are some of your guys' favorite like animations? And I would say series or shows. Like, what do you guys dig? What do you guys like in terms of animated shows? And anime counts.
I think anime is pretty cool.
Here
we go.
And then Carnation's like, imagine watching an anime, and it's just like, brah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that.
It's fine. Yeah, I know it's like a meme to like meme on anime and whatnot. But I think it's pretty obvious. A lot of my designs that I do, a lot of my art is inspired off of anime.
Yeah.
I've been drawing and watching like anime art style since I was like, shoot. let's just say like Pokemon. When I started watching Pokemon, I was like 8. That's when it started.
Yeah.
You know, like I use a lot of that kind of sharp, clean, edgy design in a lot of schemes I do, a lot of the graphics that I do, and you see it a lot. Like that Interstate Batteries car that I made. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. It's got that big red stripe on the side of it.
Yeah.
That is a very anime-esque design. Like it's very, very. It pops. It's got color, and it has like sharp highlights. You know, like the highlights in the hair kind of deal, and the bold strokes around the hair kind of deal, like that kind of style to it. And I use that a lot, like a lot. Anime can be used to like not even just anime, like Disney animation, right?
Mhm.
Like some of the old 2D animations, that style is something big that people like to integrate in a lot of their stuff. Like my girlfriend loves Disney's 2D animation, and
Yes.
she uses that a lot in all the character designs she does.
Mhm.
And it's something that inspires her on it. Cartoons can be used to not just enjoyment, but it's inspiration because it's an art form.
Yes. Yeah, and
No,
I'm not to interrupt you, but like that's one reason why I've really gotten into like animation is that it gives me kind of that inspiration to get creative on the NASCAR side. So doing
Yeah.
like the animations that I've done recently, like the walk cycles, like I loved like doing those and like getting like down and like descriptive with that because then it
Yeah.
like clicks something inside my head that goes back to NASCAR. And it's so weird because like, it almost feels like NASCAR and animation are almost two like different things. But the big thing is they're both so creative with so many like creative ideas. So like with like Gravity Falls, like that was the show that really sparked for me, no pun intended. Just all the different it's two parts. Like one is like the character design was a big part of it, but then the overall story was a big part. Like I love as well. And Jed, I think you can agree with me on that.
I'm sorry, what was about the last part again?
That Gravity Falls is a great show. Jet.
Yes.
It is a very good.
It is.
Going
Yeah.
on to mine, I'll be 100% honest about the fact that I am not too huge into animation in general, like beyond just like basic cartoons and stuff.
Yeah.
But the one really like story-driven show I could get into was Gravity Falls, and I honestly don't even know what sets it apart from even other similar shows for me. But it is just a pure work of art.
Yes. It absolutely is. Noah, you got one?
Well, as far as show in general,
Yeah.
I know, man. You know, I always get nostalgic when I think about cartoons because the first time I think about it's like regular show and Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I loved Adventure Time a lot. It was one of my favorite shows, and I got into Gravity Falls pretty heavily. Like once I stopped watching, I think that was like the last show that I ended up watching.
Okay. But
Just
then
because I don't know, Gravity Falls, it was hard for me to watch another show after that because Gravity Falls was just so good compared to because it just had a story. It was really well done. The art style is amazing because I
Yeah.
love that kind of that feel
yes.
of like out west, kind of like Yellowstone. I love that aesthetic so much, and it was integrated into a cartoon show, and the theme was really good, and the characters were well done. There was character arcs. There was all sorts of stuff that you could like pay attention to, and I just didn't really get that with any other shows after I started, watching other ones.
But the thing that makes Gravity Falls so special is how they managed to do all of that with great humor on top of all that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just it's great.
Like,
And not only that, but I also really like how the plot sort of develops, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
like I said, I'm not too huge into story-driven shows, but I like how it establishes this isn't really a spoiler, but it establishes the base of the series in the first few episodes and gets you wondering, but it isn't until like episode 4 or 5 where you really start to see the continuity and start to really grasp everything.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
when
Mhm.
not to name drop anything, but when like you really see who the main antagonist is,
Yeah.
and you don't even exactly expect him to be the antagonist until the one big reveal at the end of said episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my big example from that actually is from like I think it's from the 3rd to the 4th episode where Toby Determined is a character and they totally like embarrassed him in the 3rd episode, and then in the 4th Toby calls Dipper and Dipper is like, oh, sorry for humiliating you back then, and it's like continuity, yes,
Water.
Yeah.
water
Then-
under
and
the
then-
bridge, yes.
And then what's funny, I know I'm not going to spoil exactly what happens,
Please
but I
don't.
know exactly what Griffith's talking about because it's right after that when you start to see the villainy thing of the other guy, who will not be named for spoilers.
Of course.
Even though it's really early on, it will not be named for spoilers. And then the rest of the episode is just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then you think he's like, okay, it's just going to be another one of the villain of the week things. This one was just more intense. And then you get to the last scene of the episode, and oh,
Yep. It all comes together for sure.
Oh yeah.
Griff knows exactly what I'm talking about now. I don't even have to.
So yeah, I mean, just how much of a GF fan I am. I've watched every episode of the show like 3 times, and one of the times I actually watched it with the commentary track on top of that. So like, not just do I know like the show, but like all of the all of the what ifs around that show as well. And so like, one idea for a podcast episode I would love to do is like a what if they did a Gravity Falls season 3. And it's one of those things where it's like, I got some of the tidbits that Alex Hirsch like mentioned and nodded at, and I would love to talk about that more in depth about that sometime in the future. So
Right.
yeah, Alex, what's a show or show that you definitely enjoy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely have to throw Gravity Falls in there. Steven Universe for sure.
Oh yes.
It was a show that caught my eye years ago. Let's see, Star vs. Force of Evil is pretty good,
Yep.
and I can go back even further. You know, I can go back to shows like Ed, Edd n Eddy, or
Yep.
Powerpuff Girls, or Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, or what I like to classify as a show that I thought was underrated and might be forgotten about. Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi, which was a Cartoon Network show about an actual J-pop band named Puffy Amiyumi, and that was a show that I really liked when I was a kid.
Yeah, gotcha. Corvette Racing, you dig animation at all, or nah?
Well, not really. Not really. I mean, I like some cartoons, I guess. I did watch Gravity Falls when it first came out, like a few years ago. That was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
A good honorable mention.
Yeah.
A show that has an amazing plot that I think has aged like a fine wine. I honestly love it. Like is Death Note.
I have the Blu-ray of that, but I have not seen it yet.
Oh my gosh! When you like every episode, you're like, who wrote this? Who wrote this? There's so many twists in every episode that it just gets you to a point where it's like, all right, whoever wrote this is like the smartest individual. I need to meet who this was. Who did this? Like it gets you every time. Now, it kind of dips off towards the end. The point of it kind of falls apart. Yeah. But the beginning is so, oh my god, like the two characters like switch back and forth on advantages. Like one gets an advantage on the other, and you're like, there's no way they can get an advantage on them now. And then they do, and it's like, oh, how? It doesn't make any sense until it happens. You know, it's insane. There's a way that you can develop a plot without involving conflict.
Right. Yeah.
There's like inner conflict with themselves that gets them to the point where they get an advantage over each other, and it's amazing.
So I'll throw one more show out, and I'm actually going to take off my headphones for this because I'm going to point at it, so I'm not going to hear you guys for a second. So a show that is seriously underrated that a lot more people should talk about is this one right here. OKKO. Let's be heroes.
Yes.
OKKO. I just recently watched it too. It was like I'm trying to remember when it was like earlier this year was when I finally watched it all on Hulu. And it's, oh man, like it's so silly. It is so campy, but I enjoy it so much too. Just the animation style, character design, plot, and it's such a shame that the show ended so early. So yeah, it's one of those things, and actually and this will be the last thing I'll say before calling it a night. So I'm totally down with talking about NASCAR and kind of like how we went down that rabbit hole of different like designs and concepts, and I kind of want that to be more of like the norm, if you will. But I also don't mind talking about like animation too, like every once in a while. So yeah, and I kind of want to do this like every week, just have the boys come on in and we could talk shop about NASCAR and talk about paint schemes and design concepts and stuff like that. Like in a weird way, have this be kind of like the NASCAR designers like podcast, if you will. Like almost like Alex, your first idea for the name of this podcast was originally called the what was it? The Creator Circle.
Yeah.
Like Winter Circle. You guys remember the diecast company, Winter Circle, but it's the creators circle because that's
Yeah.
kind of what we all are creators, where we make stuff that helps, make people's day and make people laugh. Like one of the things that just gives me joy when people were sharing the that Daytona crash that I made, just everyone with the laughy emoji and everyone like sharing it with other people made my day. It's just like it just warms my little heart. It's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what were you gonna say, Alex?
I was about to say I kind of went through something similar recently with the Dale Jr. meme I made with that Carson Shearer dance that's going around.
Yes, I
I
love
was
that.
like, why is it blowing up? I didn't expect like 500 people to like it.
Yeah, here we are.
Yep.
That's funny. So you guys have anything else you want to say here before we wrap up?
My cat came in to say hi.
Oh, what's your
Hi,
cat's
Kitty.
name?
His name is Brick.
Brick. Hi,
Brick.
Brick.
Brick in a house.
What's up, Brick?
Hi,
He's,
Brick.
he's sitting in his window right now. I could turn video on so you guys can see him, but like he's just chilling.
Nice.
He just walked into my room and pretended like he owned the place, and now I think he's actually like tormenting bugs now.
Hey, that's cool.
This
That's
is
cool.
insane. There's so many claw marks on this. I swear. I could go on all night about this cat, but I'm not gonna.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you guys want to plug your stuff here before we wrap up? Here, let's just go down the line here. So, Corvette Racing 48, where can we find you on the social webs?
Twitter, C_racing48.
Cool. And then Jet, are you even on Twitter? I don't remember.
You also have a Discord server as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I am a very secretive guy who barely does any social media, so you can find me here on Discord, or you can find me u/Jetman999 on Reddit, I guess, if you want to go there.
Gotcha. And then Lefty, where in the world can we find you?
Everywhere.
Well, I'm on Twitter most of the time. At Noah Sweet 7 has nothing to do with the name Lefty, but I've also got I just recently started up my Discord server.
So
I post a lot of my work in progress stuff there.
Are you going to leave us forever here on the Griff Dog Discord server?
No, I'm not. I try to be active on everything else, but as busy as I am, you'd think I wouldn't. But I'm doing I'm doing the best job I can with keeping up with all these friggin' Discords I'm in now. Good God.
I feel you.
Also, no, I saw you. I just want to say, I saw what you retweeted about your Discord this morning, and I love that.
See, we already have a meme community, so it's absolutely hilarious.
Fantastic. You know, at some point in the future, I need to get like custom emojis for here in this Discord. Like,
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could make a few of them.
You think you know me well enough to start something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't take long.
A little
Only
crazy,
if
but
you
okay.
mind.
All right.
Only if we get a Jimmy Johnson boom confetti emoji.
Doable.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, please.
All right, and then Alex, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, AlexGray83. Remember, my last name is spelled Gray, not EY. And my YouTube at Sonic Rules 831, and as well as myself here on Discord.
Sounds good. And then, as you all know, I am Griff Dog, which is funny because I don't like dogs. It's like Batman, who's afraid of bats, but becomes one with a bat. That's like me with dog. Anyway, so yeah, Griff Dog. My full name is Griffin Spear, not Spire. I am bipolar. I got the NASCAR stuff, but I also have the animation stuff. All the links are in the description below. You got Griff Dog with the NASCAR stuff on Twitter and Instagram. But if you want to see my animation progress, because as I've said, I've been taking an animation course and been kind of working my butt off there, you can follow me at Griffin Spear, all one word, on Twitter as well as Instagram. Well, boys, we did it. We did it.
So guys, we did it.
I knew you were gonna do that, Chad.
All right. Let's end this baby. So, thank you guys so much for joining, and thank you, chat, for chatting along, and thank you, all of you listeners. So, with that being said, this is Griffin Spear, aka Griff Dog, saying so long, Until next time. And
Cue
outro.
outro.
And there we go.